Hey guys, today I'm working with my Epson Colorworks it's a Epson Colorworks C6500AU. This is the cutting version, and I'm going to show y'all how to make sure that your gaps are perfect whenever you're doing circle labels, because what I found is that sometimes when you're switching between different sizes, or pretty much all the time when you're switching between different sizes on the circles, it has issues with it making sure that the gaps are in the same spot, or it has issues calibrating the image into the center of the circle. So what you have to do is you have to actually calibrate the gap detection sensor, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so here's a look at the machine. This is the front side of it, and whenever you're doing this, you really need to have good access to the top and the back of it. And as you can see, I have a big table right here, so I usually use a step stool, or I have to move the table out. So I'm going to try to grab my little step stool that I've got and see if I can do this with just a step stool. Alright, so you can see the labels inside. These ones right here are 2.5-inch circles. And see, there's a sensor in there that detects the gap. And you can see one of the sensors right here. I'll show you. It's that little gray piece right there. And there's marks on the plastic above and below it. You use that as a guide. You eyeball, you look at the label. Sorry, there's marks below it. There's not marks above it. But you look at the mark below it and see which one is closest to the center of the label. And you want to make sure that this guide is all the way touching and firm against it so that the paper can't move. And then you get the top gap perfect, which it already is right now. And when I say that you move it over, you just have to physically move it over. I use a little pick tool. I'll show you what I'm using. Let's see here. I use this thing right here. It came with my weeding tools. And I just stick this in there. Like this, I grab the edge and I push it over. Okay, so you get the top one just right. And then what you have to do, once you get the top one just right, you have to go ahead and take the paper back out. You're gonna unload the paper. Take the whole roll out. You have to take the roll completely out. And then you see this blue thing right here. You're gonna pull on it. This whole entire tray is gonna lift down. And when it does, now you can see the sensor on the bottom. Sensor on the bottom is right there. It looks just like the other one. You see it is right here. It looks just like the other one. And what you're gonna do is, now you can't see where the paper is, but you're gonna wanna match it up using those same marks that are up on this one. So you basically can count them over. There's 2 short ones, a long one, and then 2 short ones. So you're gonna go, 2 short ones, a long one, 2 short ones. See what I'm saying? You're gonna line it up the same way based upon that. And then once you do, which is already in the same spot, so I don't have to move it, this thing just pops back up. It just goes right back and snaps into the same spot. Then you're gonna load the paper. Do that real quick. And load the paper back in. Always tough to do at this angle. I'm trying to do it on camera. Alright, it grabbed it. Now you're going to shut it. Okay, now this is very important. This next step is very important. So, whenever you shut this thing off loading paper, it's going to be in the pause position because it's wanting you to acknowledge what kind of gap setting it has. So I'm going to click on and show that yes, it does have a gap. Okay. And then, so that's good. And then I'm going to click and go back to home and then click unpause. It's going to check the width of the paper and measure it. It's going to spit some out, which it always does. It's going to spit out this one roll or one label. And then this is a very important next part you have to do. Okay, so can't tell on this little screen if that's really in focus. I hope it is. But what you're going to want to do here is click on. You're going to want to scroll this over to where it says menu. You're going to go down where it says maintenance. It's the next one down. I'm sorry if this isn't in focus. You're going to go down to where it says calibration. And then you're going to go media detect. And you're going to go select or start, and then you're going to hear it and it's going to say calibration in process. It's going to start doing its thing. It's going to run it back and forth a little bit until it measures the gap, and then it's just going to stop, and then you can go back to the home screen, and then now you can go. It's always, whenever it does that calibration, it's going to spit out about 5 labels or however many. But that's just what you have to do. You can cut those off. And then now you're ready to run your batch. So do that every single time in between your different sizes. And yeah, it's going to take care of the problem with the calibration not being just right. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the issue that I was having. So you can see how there's white on the bottom and it just crops it right off. Like it seems like I get everything else right. I had a bleed on this one, which never really fully dries up whenever it bleeds off the edge a bunch. You can see when I first started out, it was a huge problem, and I was just trying to get it centered using the print position adjustment. But that only does it so much. Really, whenever you're doing this whole process also, you want to have everything in 0. You want to zero out all the print position adjustments and then run that. And then from there, you can do your print position adjustment. You can see I was having the same issue with all these other ones, but whenever I did 1.5 inches, it was no problem. Whenever that sensor is all the way in the factory setting, it doesn't have any problems doing just 1.5 inch labels. But whenever I stepped it up to doing 2 inch or 2.5 inch or 3 inch, I always had issues. And then so I figured out that it was that gap detection setting or the calibration that you have to do. You have to move the sensor top and bottom. I had always tried to move the sensor on top and didn't realize there was one on the bottom that you had to move also. So thanks for checking out this video. I hope it helped you out. And then on the next video, I'm going to be talking about the color settings, the color profile settings that are built into the Epson printer. As you can see right here, these 3 pinks were all done with the exact same color in the software, in the actual like design software. The only difference is we're between 3 different preset settings within the printing options. And obviously this is the one that I was actually going for. So I'll go over all that in the next video. So please look out for that one. All right, take it easy. Thanks for watching.